In this video, we are going to learn a super rare chess opening that is actually good for you. This opening works very well if your opponent's rating is below 1600, and the name of the opening is Halloween Gambit. It starts with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6. We have reached a 4 knights opening, and this is a very common opening. In this opening, we play knight cross e5. This move is known as the Halloween Gambit. We sacrifice a knight to gain full control over the central squares. Black plays knight cross e5, and now we play pawn to d4. In this opening, there is one golden principle that you need to remember, and that is we harass the opponent's knight whenever we can. We play pawn to d4 and attack the opponent's knight. And the knight has two choices. It can go to c6 or it can go to g6. According to lichess database, around 31% of the players will play knight to g6. And now we play pawn to e5. Remember the golden principle. We harass the opponent's knight whenever we can. And the knight cannot go to any of these squares, because our queen is covering them and our knight is covering these squares. So knight has to go back. And now we play bishop c4, developing a piece. Black plays bishop to b4. Black also does the same. Black wants to play knight e7 and then go short castle. But we are not going to let this happen. We play queen to f3, immediately attacking the f7 square. Black plays queen e7. Black defends the f7 square. And now we play a very powerful idea. We play pawn to h4. Our idea is to push the pawn to h5 and attack the opponent's knight. This knight does not have a lot of squares. And if black plays knight cross h4, then black is already lost. We play rook cross h4, a rook sacrifice. After queen cross h4, we play queen cross f7 check. King d8, and now we play queen cross g7. In the next move, we are going to get this rook. So white is completely winning. That's why in this position, black plays bishop cross c3. After b cross c3, black plays pawn to d6. Black wants to destroy our center, but we don't care. We play pawn to h5. The knight has only one square. Knight must go to f8. And now look at these pieces. All of black's pieces are looking stupid, and this is the compensation we get when we play the Halloween's Gambit. Now we play short castle. After d cross e5, we simply play rook e1. We are pointing our rook to the opponent's king. Here black cannot play a move like bishop to e6, because then we play queen cross b7. So in this position, black has to play a move like pawn to f6. And if you look at the Uncle Stockfish, white is completely winning in this position. Here you can play d cross e5. After f cross e5, white has a powerful move. Rook cross e5, rook sacrifice. After queen cross e5, you play queen f7 check, king d8, queen cross f8, king d7, and you play bishop to f4, attacking the queen. In the next move, rook will join the attack and it's game over. Black cannot defend himself. So let's go back. In this position, black can also play knight to c6, and 55% of the time, this is your opponent is going to play. And in this variation also, we continue with our policy of harassing the opponent's knight. We play pawn to d5. After knight e5, we play pawn to f4, continuing to attack the knight. Knight g6, and we play pawn e5. This knight does not have a good square, so it has to go back to g8. And now we play pawn to d6. This is an important move. Our pawn on d6 is super strong. After c cross d6, e cross d6. Because of this pawn, black cannot develop this bishop. And if black cannot develop this bishop, then black cannot go short castle. Also, this bishop is blocked, and black cannot develop this rook also. All of black's pieces are blocked because of our pawn on d6. In this gambit, d6 pawn is super important. So black will try to attack it and eliminate this pawn. Black has two options. Black can play queen f6 or queen b6. First, let's look at queen f6. And here we play knight to b5. We want to protect this pawn and we want to threaten knight to c7 fork. And black's best move is king d8, protecting from the fork. And here we play bishop to e3. We don't care about the pawn. We offer one more pawn. After queen cross b2, we simply play bishop to d3. queen b4 check, c3, queen a5, and we simply go short castle. In this position, we are a whole piece down. But if you look at the Uncle Stockfish, white is completely winning. Our plan is to put our rooks on these open files. Then we can play a move like queen to b3, developing the queen, and threatening moves like queen cross f7. Black has not developed any of these pieces, and that's why white is completely winning in this position. Let's go back. In this position, black mainly plays queen to b6, attacking our d6 pawn. Now we play knight to b5. We want to defend the pawn, and we are also threatening knight to c7 fork. If you reach this position, then around 33% of the people will play a move like pawn to a6. After knight c7 check, king d8, knight cross a8, black will play queen cross d6, queen cross d6, bishop cross d6, and now we simply play knight to b6. We protect our knight, and white is completely winning because of the material advantage. But if your opponent knows the theory, then your opponent will play king to d8, a smart move, getting away from this knight fork. But now we continue with our policy of harassing the opponent's knight. We play pawn to f5. After knight to e5, we play bishop f4, developing a bishop and attacking the opponent's knight. Black has two options. Knight can go to c6, or black can play pawn to f6. If knight goes to c6, then we play knight c7, attacking the rook. Black saves it, and now we play queen e2. We are threatening queen e8 checkmate. So black plays knight f6, and black defends from this threat. And now we simply go long castle. And again, if you look at the Uncle Stockfish, white is completely winning despite a piece down, because black has not developed any of these pieces. And white's plan is very simple. White is going to play pawn g4, g5, remove this knight from f6, and try to play queen e8 checkmate. White can develop his bishop on g2, bring his h rook to e file, and attack in the center. Black's king is trapped in the center, and that's why white is completely winning in this position. And if black plays the best move, pawn to f6, we simply play queen to d2. Our idea is, after pawn to a6, we play bishop to e3, attacking the opponent's queen, and black has only one option. Black will play queen to c6, and now we play queen a5 check, attacking the opponent's king. After king to e8, we play knight to c7, a fork, attacking the king and the rook. In the next move, black will play king f7, and we simply take the rook. And white is completely winning. We have more material, and our position is also better. Look at these pieces. They are not doing anything. So you will easily win the game. If you use this opening against below 1600 rated players, then there is a very good chance that your opponent is going to fall for one of these tricky moves. Now, before you go to chess.com or lichess and start crushing your opponent with Helvin Gambit, I want you to take your knight and sacrifice it on that subscribe button. See you in the next video.